I'm delighted to be joined on the Alternative Show today by two members of Happy Hollows. They're here to chat about the band and play us some songs. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
Yeah, very well, thank you. You guys okay?
Yeah, well over here. It's an early start for us in LA, but it's nice to get up.
Well, top of the morning to you. Okay, to start us off, can you tell us where you're based, who's in the band, and what everyone does in it?
We're based in Los Angeles, and the band consists of me, Sarah, Charlie, who plays synths and bass, and Scott, who plays guitars, and I sing and play guitar.
Yeah, we kind of like swap instruments and stuff as well, and we have a sort of like a rotating cast of drummers. So we have a guy called Glenn Fryatt, also from the UK, and then we have also the original Happy Hollows drummer, Chris, who sometimes plays. We basically have an open door policy for drummers. if you can play drums and you're available, you can play with us.
Does that include drum machines?
It actually.
Yeah, it does.
So you got Roland available for drums.
Yeah, it's actually funny you say Roland, because the reason Charlie, our bass player, couldn't join us today is he just had a baby, and he's very much into his synths and drum machines, but he's named his baby Roland. So maybe one day Roland will be playing with us if we're still going in 20 years.
Oh, I love that. Okay. How did it all start? Where did you meet and how did the band come about?
Well, it started when I first moved to Los Angeles. This was a long time ago, toward the late, early 2000s, like 2007, 2006. Somebody had told me after a while living in LA, I had basically started playing around town as Happy Hollows, even though it was just me. I would book these shows and show up. I was so like young and just very, very green and kind of, it was kind of sweet, I think, for people. But I would show up with just my guitar, like no, backing tracks at all. And I would play as Happy Hollows, and I would just like go crazy on stage with like just my guitar. And somebody had said that they knew of Charlie and Chris, that they were holding auditions for like a singer guitar player. So I went to the audition, and it was funny because instead of them auditioning me, I sort of auditioned them. I walked in and I was like, "Hey guys, I've got this band, Happy Hollows. I've got shows booked. Can you just start playing these songs?" They were like, "Who is this girl?" And we started jamming on the songs I already had, and they were perfect, and we all got along so well just right away, and we just kind of knew it. And so it started like that pretty much.
Who thought of the name Happy Hollows and why did you choose it?
I thought of the name Happy Hollows. I kind of had it in my head for a long time because growing up in San Jose, California, there was a petting zoo called Happy Hollow. And I loved the name because it was, it was like two very opposite words in one saying that kind of like just sounded good together. Happy, but also hollow, which is like, so like happy, but like dead on the inside.
Describes us.
Which really describes the music that we make. And so yeah, it kind of just stuck with me. So yeah, I got that name.
How would you describe the band's sound?
It's definitely changed over the years. Like Happy Hollows started off as sort of, I would say like garage rock, post-punk, that kind of thing. And then with each album, it's definitely evolved. Synths came in to the picture with the second album, Amethyst. And the guitars definitely got a lot more lush and the vocals more layered. And then with the third album, Concordia, lots of like analog synths and very angular guitars. And we've taken that forward again. The new album is going to be more of a sort of minimal sound. and using lots of like drum machines and yeah, even more synths. Charlie's dug deeper into the world of synths. And
at practice, it's insane. I mean, there must be like 20 synths all around Charlie. It's
but
like
I would,
it's like in its synth world.
Exactly, yeah. I would say it's a new wave. We've turned into like a sort of new wave band.
Perfect. Okay, who designs your covers, and how did your latest single, Summer Is Over's cover, come about with a nice picture of an orange on it?
Well, the band have a friend called Andrew Jeffords, who's in a really great band here in LA, actually, called Traps PS. And if you go onto their Instagram, you'll see all of Andrew's artwork. And that orange will probably be on there. But he's got lots of other great pieces of art, so we're hopefully going to use one of his for the album as well. But it basically, we had a choice of about 10 different pieces, and then we were able to whittle it down to one we all kind of agreed on, which is the hardest part. But yeah, it's a great cover. We're a big fan of his work.
Looks great, that's for sure. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You've got 3 songs to play for us. What's your first song choice and why have you chosen it?
So the first one is going to be On the Wave, and this is from the 3rd album, which is called Concordia. And I just think On the Wave, I think it needs a bit more love. I think it's definitely one of the best Happy Hollows songs, but it kind of goes a little unnoticed. And it's a great one to play live. It's got a sort of retro disco vibe to it. And yeah, it's a song the band really love, and a few fans seem to like, but most people don't know about it. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good one to pick.
I've been waiting for you.
What's the songwriting process for the band?
It's very collaborative. It started out, Happy House started out with me, having a batch of songs, and, Charlie and Chris would just play bass and drums. I'll play along to it. And then we'll just start playing guitars over it. I'll start singing. Scott will start singing. Charlie will start singing. I mean, everyone just kind of does everything. Like sometimes I'll move to the drum set and like kind of just play drums along, and everything just sort of shapes.
And we've
together.
started like recording our practice sessions as well, and just sort of like going over them, and then just sort of saying, what sounds good when we're watching back and listening back. And sometimes we just bin songs if they're not working, or we just like shelve them and come back to them later. But usually we just it'll be a drum loop and a synth loop, and then we just like write little riffs and melodies over the top of it until eventually we've made something that resembles a song.
And then even after that, sometimes we'll take the song and completely dissect it and put it together in a completely different way, or totally slow it down or speed it up. Yeah, it's just a very, it's like a very experimental.
Yeah, and then we go into the final stage, which is arguing about the BPM. So that usually takes like a month. That actually did happen one time, that we had a serious argument about. It's actually the next song we're going to do, Prowler, whether it should be 111 BPM or 112. And I was firmly in the 112 camp.
Which you won, right?
I did. It was actually the producer settled that one in the end. He said 112, it's easier to work with, but it won't make a difference. He said it's an even number. So, yeah, silly arguments like that. But it's all good. We do work well together.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, perfect. And do your songs have any consistent lyrical themes?
Yeah, I think I sing a lot about cosmic themes. I'm always singing about the stars and the moon. And I guess you would say I'm really into all that stuff, so it kind of seeps into the lyrics, I think.
Okay, and what DAW and musical instruments do you play and use?
DAW, Charlie uses Ableton for a lot of the stuff.
Okay.
And I've been using Reaper for years, but only actually switched to Ableton like literally this week, actually. So I'm trying to figure out how that works. Sarah's still in GarageBand as it's known over here, yeah. And then for musical instruments, let's see, synths, loads of synths. Charlie, I know he's got a Juno 106.
Ooh, nice.
He's got an Access Virus and a Korg Prodigy. So I think they're the three main ones. So he's basically, he's
And there's a Roland.
Oh yeah, some Roland stuff as well. And then guitars, Sarah uses a Gibson SG, which he has been using for pretty much through the entire length of Happy Hollows. I've got a Fender Jazzmaster, which I really like, and tons of pedals. I seem to collect pedals. I've probably got
so many
about
pedals.
20 or so, and then I've got some big plans for more as well. So I'm pretty into the world of pedals. It's never ending.
Which recording studio do you currently use and why?
So we've been working with a producer called Louis Pesakov recently. He did the first Best Coast album, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, love them.
So he produced that. He's become a friend of ours. He's worked with us on a few albums. We've been recording a lot of things in the practice space ourselves, and then bringing it to the studio. And some parts re-record, or other parts we just fly into the session. Like some of the guitars you'll hear on the new album I recorded in our studio, and then some we recorded with Lewis. But he's very good with the vocals, and he's really musical and comes up with great ideas and additions to the songs. So yeah, we've been working with him for a long time now, and it's great fun. We really enjoy it.
Okay, and what approach do you use when recording?
Mainly, it starts off with just getting the demos to a place we're pretty happy with. We bring it into the studio, and then Lewis listens to it, and then he'll put in some of his ideas or say, we can use this or re-record that. And he'll often just put in like some extra percussion or like piano, things like that. So it's really, it's collaborative, but it's like sometimes we think we've got a song right to the finishing line, and then we'll bring it into the studio, and then it'll get like torn to pieces, or So you need to be kind of like thick-skinned and try not to get too emotionally attached. There's a term we use in the studio called demoitis. So it's when you get so attached to the demo that any like changes to the song, even if it's clearly for the best, is hard to digest. And you just want it to always sound like the demo, but you have to trust the producer. So in this case, Lewis is giving us a lot of guidance. So it's been great working with someone like that.
Okay, perfect. What's your second song choice for us, and why have you chosen it?
Our second song is called Prowler, and it's the first one that Scott features prominently on, so I thought we'd play it.
This is like, as I touched on before, this is the one where we argued about the BPM. So it's actually we spent so long in this song, and it went through so many iterations. And I actually, we all got very emotionally attached to it.
At one point it was really fast, and then at one point it was really slow. We changed this one a lot, but
we're actually really happy with where it ended up. So,
and it's like kind of shows like the direction of our latest album, which is much more electronic and sort of minimal, and
And it's like lots of like heavy synths and retro guitars. And it's definitely one you could dance to as well. So we can't wait to play this live. We've already played it live a couple of times, and it sounds great. But we want to get out next year when the album's out and perform it as much as we can.
Everyone is watching what eyes can see. Secrets that I'm hiding behind the screen. I could try and touch you, you won't feel
been your favourite live performance experience?
I think definitely the whole band can agree when we toured Japan. That was our favorite. Like every show, huh, Scott, that we played in Japan. Was
It was amazing. It was actually
amazing.
strange how that one came about, because I've always dreamt of going to Japan, and like honestly, a few months before we got an email about it, I said we should try to do a tour in Japan one day. Like that would just be like a dream. And then, seriously, an email just arrived in the inbox from a promoter offering us to play like 7 shows around Tokyo. And I thought it was like a prank at first, because we'd been literally just been talking about it. But no, it was like, yeah, we went through with it, and it was amazing. We all went over to Japan, like an entourage of us. We had a guy come, like a videographer came, who's our friend, and like filmed the whole thing. Yeah, we played like about 7 shows. There was one day we had to do 2 shows in a day.
3, I thought.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
and then
3 shows in a day.
we had... It was amazing, just the whole thing. It was, fantastic, and the people were great. The food was amazing. We had like a guide / translator. It's funny, on the first day, she was like, I've got the best place to bring you. And we're like, okay, great. We've just arrived in Tokyo. I hope this is going to be like very traditional, like Japanese bar or something. But she marched us like about a mile down the road and brought us into a Brit pub in the middle of Tokyo, and we had fish and chips, and pints of ale. So it's like, okay.
With Sky Sports playing the football as well.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but that
Like,
aside,
from now on, can you just take us
we went to loads of like
sushi places?
great sushi places after that. But it was just an amazing experience. Lovely people, and all the shows were well attended.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we played well as well. It was great.
I bet the audiences were incredible as well.
Yeah,
They're so wonderful.
yeah, they really were. Like,
And one of the things that really touched my heart, in the US and the UK and everything, like, when you play and you're on the bill with, different bands that sometimes it's 3 bands or even 4 bands to a night. Even if you don't know the bands, everyone's obviously nice to each other, everything like that. But in Japan, like the bands, you would meet before sound check, and all bands of the night, we would stand in a big circle, and then everyone would step forward, introduce themselves, everyone bows to each other and claps for each other, and the bands were so kind to one another, to us and to one another. I had just never experienced just such a loving, supportive vibe like that. Like nobody was competitive, or there's no ego. It was so touching, and like truly touched my heart. How kind everyone was.
And punctual, actually.
And very punctual.
I've never seen punctuality like it. Like the band's actually turned up for their scheduled sound check times, and went on stage on time. So it was very well organised.
Sounds very respectful and really
was,
good.
It was great.
Wow. Well, after that then we're on to venues. So, what venue would you like to play anywhere in the world if you could, and why?
Well, I don't know, does this count as a venue, but a place that holds a very special place in my heart is
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury Festival.
Somerset.
Sorry, Tremaine.
Somerset, beautiful part of the world, as you will definitely know. But I've been to Glastonbury as a punter probably like 5 or 6 times over the years, and Sarah's been 1 year as well. And it's just been to festivals all over the place, but Glastonbury is just the best, and it is a dream to perform there one day.
The ultimate dream.
Maybe on the park stage or something like that. Or I'll take anywhere. But definitely Glastonbury. Or festivals aside, maybe the Ulster Hall in Belfast.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I went to see like loads of bands there growing up, and it's just a really old historic venue. So that would be a good one.
And for me, the Hollywood Bowl would be the ultimate.
Wow.
Yeah, we were there recently, actually, the Hollywood Bowl. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but it's like an outdoor, like, amphitheater style venue. Really beautiful. Sometimes they even let you bring in your own booze, which is very unique.
amazing. That's
Very
very
unique
nice of
for the
them.
US and very
Yeah.
unique for any kind of music venue. So
It's beautiful.
yeah, it's a great venue and a beautiful setting with like mountains behind it. It's lovely.
What's your hope and aspirations for your music?
I think we just want to like put out this new album in January and maybe like do a UK tour would be great. The band's done one of them before, but we do have like fans in the UK, and the music seems to go down well there, probably better than the US, to be honest. So we'd like to get over there and do a tour. And apart from that, just like carrying on, doing as much as we can ourselves and just releasing music ourselves. Maybe one day it'd be good if we could have like some professional support to sort of bring us to the next level. But at the moment, we're doing all right by ourselves, and you know we get some syncs and stuff, which is cool. So just carrying on, trying to like, evolve the sound as much as we can, and playing live shows because yeah, we love playing live. And Sarah, it's when Sarah really comes to life, she like, shreds on the guitar and is running all over the stage. It's very fun to see, and I just get to sit in the back and play guitar in the shadows.
What's next for the band in the immediate future?
Immediate future will be maybe one more single, and then the album is going to come out. So yeah, the album is totally finished now. It's just sitting in our hard drive. We just need to agree on the artwork. Then we'll put that out early next year, and just play shows around LA and see what opportunities come up. And yeah, try to get a UK tour. We've already we've spoken to a couple of people about it.
We're trying to plan it for like next summer.
But yeah, next summer or like next second half of next year would be ideal. Well, already actually we're starting to work on new songs because the album is done. So like our latest practices have just been working on new material. So I'm hoping like we can just like, put out the album, play shows, and then like very quickly put out another album after that, and not like leave a big gap. Like the whole pandemic kind of messed things up for us, and we had delays, and Sarah and I had COVID, but once this album is out and we like play shows, we want to get cracking with the next one and just not leave a gap. And beyond that, who knows? Just carry on making music and doing as much as we can by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What interests or hobbies do any of you have outside of the band or music?
Well, I mentioned this earlier. I'm really into reading tarot cards and mystical sort of spiritual things of all kinds. And so I do read tarot cards. I read it professionally. I've been doing it now for years. And one of my day jobs is actually I work for this company, and I go live around the world, teaching people how to read tarot cards and doing group tarot readings for sometimes 800 people. so it's a definite passion of mine. So I love things like that. That's a huge part of my life.
Yeah, for me, nothing as interesting as that. I do a bit of skateboarding, which I'm pretty into.
He's really good at.
Also snowboarding. And I've recently been getting into tennis, which I've never been that into sports, but recently I know I need to exercise, so I've just been, and jogging, I've tried jogging and it's too boring for me. So I've been getting into tennis and I'm really enjoying it actually. And the weather out here definitely helps with that.
Oh.
And aside from that, we've got a little terrier called Alfie. So I spend actually most of my time where I might be doing hobbies. I'm actually at a dog park watching him run around. So that's pretty much my hobby. taking him to a dog park. But yeah, it's great fun. We've actually met loads of people through just having a dog and become like friends with lots of people in the area. So yeah, it's been fun.
What's your final song choice and why have you chosen it?
Our final song choice is our latest single, Summer Is Over. So this is the one that features the orange on the artwork. It's a breezy little number. It's like got very like chilled out synths, and it's a kind of a feel good song, I guess. And yeah, we're really happy with how it turned out, and Sarah's vocals sound great on it. And yeah, we haven't played this one live, but yeah, we're practicing it at the moment and can't wait to play it live. Actually, it's going to be good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for joining me today. Let's keep in touch. All the best.
Thank you so much, Chris, for having us. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a real treat, Chris, and we look forward to getting ourselves a summer set and chinning a few pints of cider with you.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely perfect. That was Happy Hollows, and this is their latest single release, Summer Is Over.